This is the internal monologue so many of us have but never dare say or express. I'm Sai Sandra Satyakumar and I will be talking to you about how social media has turned into a global mental health issue affecting our society at large. I will be telling you how it's affecting our mental health, how social media addiction drains you, and how to create yourself a much healthier and better experience online. Have you ever felt your phone vibrating or you're getting notifications, but when you pull out your phone, you realize there is no messages, no calls? This phenomenon is known as a phantom vibrating syndrome. A recent study found out that almost 90% of us experience these hallucinations. The Center of Collegiate Mental Health has found out that the top 3 diagnoses among students are anxiety, depression, stress, and numerous researchers have linked high social media use on these high levels of anxiety and depression. About 90% of 18 to 29-year-olds are on social media. According to Common Sense Media, teens spend an average of 9 hours a day online and 2 hours of those are on social media. Most of us don't even get 8 hours of sleep and we won't even be eating for 2 hours straight. So anyway you cut it, it's a lot of time spending on the screen, and any time we spend this much time doing anything in general, it'll have a lasting effect on us. So let me share with you the 3 most common stresses on social media. Number 1, FOMO. A common phrase we all use, FOMO, or the fear of missing out, is actually a form of social anxiety. It is stemmed by a belief that others might be having fun while you're not present. It is characterized by a desire of staying constantly connected with what others are doing. It's been around for so long, but these days it's triggered more by the posts on social media. Social media gives us instant access to the activity of our friends, and that's there for its own good, but at the same time it makes it all too easy to compare our lives with others. This can lead us to second-guessing our decisions and feeling insecure in general. It can even get to a point where there's a looming sense of FOMO even when we're not online. Now, secondly, highlight reel. Social media is often referred to as a highlight reel, meaning everyone shares their best moments in life. With such, comparisons may occur frequently in social media use because users tend to disproportionately represent positive life development, portray themselves to be happier than they actually are. This common comparison is becoming a common negative feeling. What social media doesn't show is how everyone's life is just as imperfect as ours. It does not show the days where you feel low or the general chaos in your daily life, like when you're stressing out about an assignment due date. And it is capable of showing us the loneliness and isolation that many people are feeling. Posts like this exemplifies reality. They showcase a non-picture perfect life. They are wonderfully relatable rather than comparable. Since the majority of posts are highlights thought, it's hard to not compare our worst to the other's best. We struggle with insecurities because we compare our behind the scenes with what's everyone's highlight reel. Moving on to social currency. Just like money, social currency is something we use to attribute value to our product or service. On social media, the likes, comments, and shares we have become a form of currency by which it should be valued to something. And the problem with this is that we are the product. So when you post a perfect picture and you get a like or comment, it becomes a recorded transaction attributing value. Let's be honest. Have we ever taken down a post just because we didn't get enough likes or views? We took our product off the shelf because it wasn't selling fast enough. I want you to understand why this is such a big epidemic. We are tying up our self-worth with what others think of us. And this leads to our last point, online harassment. Online harassment is actually the worst stressor on social media. What if going on social media now is a terrifying experience? Now, along with questioning your self-worth, you're questioning your safety. 40% of social media users experience online harassment, and at least 73 of us have witnessed online harassment. The problem is, that on the news they only show these big stories like Anita Sarkeesian, who was being shamed on the internet and getting rape and death threats just for sharing her thoughts on feminism, or Jessica Logan, who took her life after her private photos were distributed among her schoolmates. We see these stories once it's too late. But what about the everyday online harassment? What about the ugly snap you sent to your friend with the intention of it being private and now it's on Instagram? Well, it's just one photo. It's just one comment. But these micro moments happen over and over again, and over time, that's when we have a macro problem. We have to recognize that these everyday instances, otherwise we will be seeing many more innocent people being victims of online harassment. The need to constantly check your notifications or comply with all these stressors are eventually turning into addiction. Regarding social media, we are already experiencing impairments similar to substance dependencies. With every like you get, it's like getting a shot of the feel-good chemical dopamine into your system. You gain more of that social currency. So what do we do to feel good? We check the likes. Just one more time. We post. Just one more time. We feel anxious if we do not have access to social media. Doesn't that sound like every other drug that you've ever heard of? So when that grows, when your social media users go unconfronted over time, that's when we see the rising level of anxiety and depression. The Canadian Association of Mental Health have found out that 12 to 18-year-old students who spend more than 2 hours on social media reported higher depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. Here's the thing. I love social media and enjoy my time on it. And hearing what I said will make you feel like I'm trying to get you off it. No, I'm not asking you to quit social media, nor am I asking you to spend less time on social media. Social media is neither good or bad. It's just the most recent tool we're using to do what we've always done. Tell stories and communicate with each other. Just the way you wouldn't blame your Samsung TV for all those horrible TV shows, Twitter is not responsible for what people write and all those awful posts online. So when we talk about the dark side of social media, what we're really talking about is the dark side of people. It's the dark side of people that makes us feel insecure and stressed. So as responsible and wise social media users, this dark side is what we need to focus on. We need preventative and coping strategies. Today, I'd like to introduce you with this action plan I believe can help you transform your social media experience into something that adds value to your life and those around you. Number 1, build a strong value system. Values describe what is important to you and how you live your life. They are the very foundation of your beliefs and by nature influence your actions. Decisions and behaviors. When we begin to make decisions based on our values, we tend to make deliberate choices that reflect what is important to us in our lives, and not only will these values guide you when dealing with some of the problems I mentioned above, but they will also guide you when it comes to deciding how exactly you want to use your social media. Moving on to the second point, collaborative creativity, where 2 or more people work together to achieve the same goal. I'm sure we've all heard of inspiring individuals like Greta Thunberg or Lupita, who have worked tirelessly to start movements and they raise awareness to make a difference. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the only way to use social media is by creating a movement, but even following or sharing information is collaboration. There is so much you can do and an individual can do to make a difference. And lastly, model good behavior. Offline, we are taught not to bully kids in the park. We are taught to respect others and treat them how they deserve. We are taught how not to kick others when they are down and take pleasure at their downfalls. Social media is a tool that can be used for good and more positive groups, for revolutions, or even dancing to Savage Love on TikTok. So this media does not have to tear down your mental health. Social media can tear you down, yes, but it can also lift you up, where you have a feeling better off and have an actual laugh after using social media. When I spend 2 hours of my precious 24 hours on social media, I want my experience to be filled with inspiration, laughter, motivation, and a bit more TikTok videos.